Jimmy O from JoBlo. Hey, Edgar, how are you?
Nice, twice in 1 week.
I know it's been a while. Not only do I get to see you in person, but I get to talk to you about this amazing movie. I'm so happy, dude. I'm blown away. Your music has always been such an important part of what you do, but here I think you even elevated it further. The way it moves the story along. Can you talk about finding the right sound to mix with this kind of this look and this atmosphere that you have here?
I guess part of it is that, in a way, like choosing the music and kind of writing the story go hand in hand. Because in both cases, you're sort of zoning in on like a particular tone. And like, I really, sort of part of the conception of the movie comes from an obsession with a decade that I never lived in. And that started with music because it wasn't necessarily that at the age of 6, that I was watching kind of like, A Taste of Honey or like Blow Up, but I was listening to 60s music and I like, figured out how to use the record player and I would be happily kind of like listening to all of my parents' 60s records. So that was something that I guess if I started an obsession with a decade that I never lived in, that was the start of it. And then in a way, like not dissimilar to Eloise in the movie, she inherits her grandmother's records in the same way that like when my parents never seemed to play their record collection anymore when I was growing up. So I kind of took them myself and started playing them. So yeah, the music and the conception of the story go hand in hand, really.
Yeah, I got that, and I loved how it kind of put everything forward, and it's such a there's such a beautiful like a mix of inspiration here in the look of the film, in the way you style it. This is a really beautiful thriller. That kind of tricky for you because you haven't done, I don't think, really a straightforward thriller like this.
Well, it's definitely a challenge and something that I think with any new project you want to kind of set the bar higher than you could clear, because otherwise what's the point, like, so there's always an element of like reaching for something. I think at the point where you maybe become complacent or like say, oh, I know how to do this, and you're just phoning it in is the end. So there's always an element where you're with a new project, you're doing something you haven't done before. And with this, there were several things that I'd never done before, but that was a challenge that I wanted to take on. And, I'd been thinking about the film for like a decade. So I'd sort of part of me had been gearing up to do this.
And Anya and Thomasin. I mean, really perfect casting. How difficult was the casting process in finding the right two people?
Well, I mean, in the case of Annie Taylor-Joy, she was the first actor that I talked to about it, and it was sort of became not a matter of like, will you be in it, more of like which part, because I met her in 6 years ago in 2015, right after The Witch, and even though I hadn't written a word of the screenplay, I decided that Anya Taylor-Joy should be the star of my Soho film. But back then, I was thinking of her for Eloise, and then over the years, well, especially when we'd written the screenplay in 2018. It was clear that it started to become clear as the Sandy part expanded that Anya should be playing that part. And when I sent her the script, luckily she agreed. So then it was like that was the first person we went to. So Anya was on board, and then it was like, okay, who's going to play Eloise? And Naira Park was the first person to mention Thomasin McKenzie, and I'd seen Leave No Trace and thought it was wonderful. But I think maybe like she's so kind of naturalistic in that movie. I wasn't even sure whether that was an actor or not, like sort of playing the daughter in Leave No Trace. So, and I didn't know she was from New Zealand. So, when I met her and she was excited about doing the role, I had a really good feeling about it. And, she is so incredibly talented for her years.
Well, dude, we got to wrap. Again, amazing, amazing movie. You just keep cranking them out, man.
Oh,
Beautiful.
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got troubles, all the noise and the hurry seems to help. I know downtown. Just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalks where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? Are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown, things will be great.